Right now, someone just like you is cashing a check for $4,000 for doing absolutely nothing. No 9 to 5, no boss, no clients. Just money arriving every single month, like clockwork. That's the promise of real estate passive income. And in the next 9 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how ordinary people get there. Not through luck, but through a simple proven system. Most people think investing means stocks. You open a brokerage account, pick some tickers, watch numbers go up and down, and hope. That's not investing. That's speculation. Real estate is fundamentally different, because when you own a rental property, you're not just hoping for gains. You're getting paid every single month while you wait. Here's what the financial media won't tell you. The stock market has averaged about 10% per year over the past century. Sounds impressive, but most retail investors only capture about 3% of that because they panic sell when markets crash. Real estate investors, on the other hand, consistently outperform, not because properties are magic, but because the system forces patience. And the real secret? Real estate creates wealth through 5 separate mechanisms at the same time. First, cash flow, the rent that hits your bank account monthly. Second, principal paydown. Your tenants are literally paying off your mortgage for you. Third, appreciation. Over time, properly chosen properties increase in value. Fourth, tax benefits, depreciation allowances, deduction stacking, and tax-deferred exchange strategies that shield your income. And fifth, leverage. You can control a $300,000 asset with just $60,000 down. No stock gives you all 5 simultaneously. That combination is why real estate has created more millionaires than any other asset class in American history. Cash flow is king. Everything else is secondary. A beautiful property that loses money every month will destroy you. A plain utilitarian property that pays you reliably every month will set you free. Here's how to calculate it. And this math is the foundation of every successful real estate investor's career. Take your monthly rent, let's say $2,000. Now subtract your mortgage payment, in this example, $1,200. Then subtract your property taxes and insurance, which might be another $200. Then subtract a vacancy allowance. That's the money you set aside for the months when the unit sits empty between tenants. Industry standard is 5 to 10% of annual rent. Then subtract the maintenance reserve. Properties break, water heaters fail, roofs need attention. Set aside at least 1% of the property value per year for repairs. And finally, if you hire a property manager, which you should eventually, subtract that fee. When you run all that math, you might net $300 to $400 per month on a property like this. On a $60,000 down payment, that's a 6 to 8% annual return from cash flow alone, before principal paydown, before appreciation, before tax benefits. Any single one of those other 4 factors doubles or triples the effective return. Now scale that to 3 properties. You're earning over $1,200 per month while tenants pay down your mortgages and your asset base quietly grows in the background. That's not a theory, that's math. The biggest obstacle most first-time investors face isn't money, it isn't knowledge, it's analysis paralysis. Spending months, sometimes years, researching and waiting for the perfect deal that never comes, while other investors are buying the good properties and building wealth. Here's the filter that actually works. The 1% rule. If a property's monthly rent is at least 1% of its purchase price, it has the potential for positive cash flow. A $150,000 property should rent for at least $1,500 per month. This isn't a guarantee, but it immediately eliminates 80% of properties that will never make financial sense. Look in secondary markets. Not the hot, expensive cities where everyone is fighting for properties at inflated prices, but the cities with stable employment, steady population growth, and housing that's still priced reasonably. The Midwest, the Southeast, the markets where the numbers work because you're not competing with 20 other investors on every listing. Study the landlord-tenant laws in your target market. Some states heavily favor tenants and make evictions difficult and costly. Other states have landlord-friendly laws that make the business much smoother. This research takes 2 hours and can save you years of frustration. And don't wait for the perfect time to buy. Every investor I've ever spoken with says the same thing. The best time to buy real estate was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. You don't need to be wealthy to invest in real estate. You need to be creative. The wealthiest real estate investors in the world started with very little capital, and they used strategies that are still available to you today. The most accessible entry point for first-time investors is house hacking. You purchase a small multi-unit property, a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. You live in one unit and rent out the others. Because you're an owner-occupant, you qualify for conventional residential financing with as little as 3 to 5% down. Your tenants' rent payments cover your mortgage, sometimes entirely. You're living for free while building equity, and the government is subsidizing the whole thing through favorable financing terms. If you already own a home with equity built up, a home equity line of credit, what investors call a HELOC, can provide the capital for your first investment property's down payment. You're using leverage on top of leverage, which multiplies your ability to deploy capital. Once you've built a track record, a strategy called BRR becomes extremely powerful. Buy a distressed property at below market price, rehabilitate it to force appreciation, rent it to quality tenants, refinance at the new, higher appraised value, and repeat, pulling your original capital back out to fund the next acquisition. Executed correctly, this strategy allows investors to scale from 1 property to 10 without continuously injecting new savings. The portfolio becomes self-funding. Here's the truth that most passive income content won't tell you. In the beginning, real estate is not fully passive. You'll be screening tenants, you'll be managing maintenance calls, you'll be learning the business the hard way. That's not a flaw in the strategy, that's the price of admission. But that phase is temporary, because the entire architecture of the system is designed to get you out of the day-to-day operations. Property management companies typically charge 8 to 12% of monthly rent to handle everything: tenant screening, rent collection, maintenance coordination, lease renewals, legal notices. On a $2,000 per month unit, that's $160 to $240. That's the cost of buying your time back. For most investors with full-time jobs, it's the single best investment they make in their portfolio. The investors who actually achieve financial freedom treat their portfolio like a business from the first day. They build systems, they document processes, they hire property managers as soon as the cash flow supports it, and they use the freed up time and mental energy to research and acquire the next property. Once you have 3 or 4 properties generating positive cash flow, you've crossed a threshold that most people never reach. You have multiple income streams. You have real assets. You have a business that doesn't require your daily presence. From there, scaling is a matter of repeating what already works, finding deals, running the numbers, financing correctly, and letting the system compound. Real estate isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slow, never-be-broke-again system. The people who build real lasting wealth through property are not smarter than you. They're not luckier. They just started, made mistakes, learned from those mistakes, and kept going. Your first deal might not be perfect. It won't be. But it will teach you more about building wealth than any book, course, or video ever could. And that first step, buying that first property, running those first numbers, collecting that first rent check, that's what separates the people who dream about financial freedom from the people who actually live it. If this gave you something to think about, subscribe to Property Playbook right now. We publish new real estate education every week. No fluff, no hype, just the real strategies that actually build wealth. And drop a comment below. What's your biggest question or obstacle when it comes to your first investment property? I read every single one. Until next time, keep building, keep learning, and remember, your portfolio grows while you sleep.